So, everything that mainstream, and depending on what you believe, but mainstream science and, I'm totally going to butcher this word, physicists, people who study energies and pure forms, basically will tell you, or tell us, or agree that energy is never destroyed. It can never be destroyed. It only changes form, right? Energy can never die. It just changes its shape. It changes into something else. Life. Okay. I was watching Morgan Freeman's Through the Wormhole, National Geographic's, or the Science Channel, one of their shows. Anyways, I was watching a show, and they were explaining about the Big Bang and theories of evolution, different stuff like that. Well, I started thinking, which is this, okay? So, if energy never changes, or never dies, or ceases to exist, and it only continuously changes into something else, then technically, through that means that everything around us, all the atoms and, subparticles of energy, the atoms, the protons, all of that, technically, has always been around. Everything that is here right now, on this Earth, in this galaxy, and beyond, in space, to the very, very, end or continuous of space, has always been here, right? Okay, let that sink in. Has always been here, right? Okay, then we know it never dies, so what does it do? It changes. You could also say it evolves, right? Okay, and then this goes a little bit, basically this is just my rant, so, and then with the Big Bang Theory, or a Big Bang Theory, is that basically that is our Big Bang Theory. That's the creation theory, which is basically, what if at one point in time that our brains probably can't even really comprehend, everything around us was something completely different, right? Okay, another entity, other, intelligent things, beings that our minds can't even really comprehend, because I'm not just saying that, what was before this, say our universe, what was before our universe may not be on this dimension. So, what it could be, it's out of our minds can't really comprehend. So, like, let your imagination just run fucking wild, right? Okay, so that's what that was before, and then, like everything, doomsday, for some reason, and one day, like a big bang, an apocalypse, an explosion of some sorts, or something like that, destruction, and everything that was here before changes, and evolves, right? And then, poof, the atoms that make up this universe popped into existence. That also goes into dark matter, right? Basically, okay, if this universe right now, right, the universe, if for some fucking reason there was a catastrophic event, an extinction event of the simple fact the universe in itself just exploded, right? Okay. Basically, there's nothing. What is the absence of nothing in space? Dark, or matter-wise, what is the opposite? Or what is the lack of? Dark matter, right? So, scientists discovered something that is really, really cool in the simple fact, if there was just a blank space, just somewhere out in space that was just blank, right? It had nothing, no gas, nothing. Over time, that blank, just nothing's there. Over time, they realized that atoms just literally just pop in from existence. Out of nowhere, literally just show up. Well, over time, those atoms either attract more atoms eventually, pop into existence, or those atoms that are there, they evolve, they change. And theoretically, yes, atoms could, if you let them sit there long enough, just on its own, it could eventually, you know, just change into a brain. Fully functional brain, right? Okay. Humor me, but stay with me, right? Okay, so one day, catastrophic event, the universe just goes poof, like nothing, just blank. Atoms pop in, right? So our universe is gone. Or the one before ours is gone. They're doomsday, right? And then us, the universe that is us now, humans, you know, every living organism, all the animals, everything, right? So basically the Big Bang of our story, our timeline, I'll say our timeline, was, I don't know when, but it was that. It basically, we just kind of blinked. But I can go deeper, okay? This theory explains, or can explain, past lives, the people that have memories of a different planet or different species, you know, stuff like that. It can explain it because that is your past life. Literally, that is your past life. Or when you die and people see a bright light. What if that's what happens? We die, so our soul, instead of, you know, not really poofing out of existence. Well, actually, yeah, our soul, when we die, it kind of poofs out of existence in the simple fact, if you're reincarnated then it just pops into a different dimension. Say one that's, like, literally right above us, or even in us. Basically, our energy, our pure energy, changes form. It changes into something else. Now, when you're thinking of that, saying, you know, changing into something else, it's almost impossible to, because it's outside of our limits of what we can think. Unless, honestly, which I'm not suggesting, but honestly, you know, unless you're on some type of alternative medicine that basically, you know, alters your perception. Unless you're in a very, very, very hyper altered perceptive state. But to me, it makes sense. Like, it explains Nirvana. Nirvana, to even make it go extreme. Nirvana, I'll say Nirvana, are people who believe, you know, with reincarnation. With me personally, I believe that, you know, you do kind of have a life lesson. You know, there's something in life that you have to learn. And then you're just kind of reborn and reborn. And imagine when you get to that point where you've been reborn, that your energy or your soul has mastered what it was, you know, it had to master. So you rise above, you ascend. Well, that ascending is, you say, in this universe, in our timeline, in our way of thinking, instead of you necessarily going into another dimension, that bright light that you see, what if you're basically going back to an atom and being part of a star? The goddess, the god, if there, no offense, but if there is one, that goes into a whole nother rant with the simple question, did God create us? Or the concept of God, did we create, or did they create us? Or he create us? Or the creator create us? Did we create the concept of God, or did God create us? But see, it's not as simple as a lot of people would be like, well, that's easy. No, it's not, because it's like the chicken and the egg. What came first, the chicken or the egg? You have to have an egg to make a chicken, and you need an egg. You need a chicken to make an egg. Well, technically you need two, but still. Okay. So think about that, though. Think about that. Okay. What if we do have a creator, right? What if? Because I mean, come on. Earth in itself. There are so many things that are just perfect. The entire world harmoniously, like music, like an orchestra playing together in just fine harmony, all works together. And if you eliminate one small thing, all of it falls apart. Come on. Like, if there is a creator, we know it has to be, you know, extremely intelligent. I mean, come on. But think about that, though. Because if we have a creator, then what do we know? Energy has always been around. It can energy cannot be created nor destroyed. I think that's how it goes. But anyways, okay, if we do have a creator, okay, well, the next question I'm going to ask is, who created the creator? But see, in modern day religion, in most, not all, but in most modern day religions, you're not supposed to ask a question like that. Because it's, it's supposed to be shameful, why are you questioning your creator? But at the same time, if you want to go, I'm probably going to catch shit for this, but still, all theory, no shade throwing anywhere. But with the Christians, well, okay, in that sense, we're not supposed to question the creator, right? Because, asking who created you, that's, But at the same time, we have free will. See, I could break this down in so many ways, but basically this concept, the more that I've been watching shows like that, because I'm also learning how certain things work that I didn't know before, or what's the newest theory, or, more theories, more information that I did not know before. And it's a show that I can actually keep up with, and, literally, I'll binge watch I'll binge watch 5 seasons if I can, and if I have the time. I'll sit there and just watch it. If they had shows like that when I was in school, and they actually made us watch them for, homework or an assignment or something, I guarantee you I probably would have finished school. Because it actually, you learn so much. But, all of this, it explains so much, the theory. Sorry, I know I'm ranting. But, that theory, right? Okay. Magic. Literally magic, okay? When I mean, it could be something else. For all we know, there was another, say, an alternate of this timeline, or a different timeline, or a timeline before us in a different dimension. But for all we know, the whole dragons and fairies and basically all the other mythological creatures, there could have actually been a point in time that actually could have been it, real. And for some reason, because here recently scientists did discover that in a way your memories are passed down through your genetics. So what's not to say, even if the atom changes, can an atom remember what it used to be? That's a very weird question, but you know what I mean. If our DNA can hold of generations of knowledge, now we haven't got to a point where we can just access it. I'll recant that. I won't even say that, actually. Because that'll fucking open another fucking conversation. But, let me get back. Hello, Vulture. Sorry, ADD. But, anyways. With that, that explains so much. That one theory explains so much. And then here's another thing that's going to blow your fucking mind, right? This is actually what one of the episodes was on, which was, what happens if time ends? Right? The fabric of time, what happens if it ends? From time, alright, let me rephrase that. From the concept of time, we know that time is like a river. It flows one way. It doesn't flow that way, it doesn't flow back, it flows one way. Right? Okay? And it's supposed to be infamous. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Well, for one, this will blow your mind. Technically, we have enslaved ourselves in the concept of time. Because before humans, we're the ones who came up with and put into action and basically reached a point where we've almost, as a society, enslaved ourselves with a concept of something that we have no absolutely fucking idea if it's an actual real thing. Because actually time is just a concept. It is a concept of keeping track of how much the sun rotates around us. Basically, for us to just keep track. It's part of the written history thing. But it's still a concept. So, therefore, time can never end, just spontaneously end. Well, it could. I'm never going to say never. But the concept of time then in that concept, then time couldn't end because it's continuous. It's the whole God and the rock paradox. If God creates a rock that only a God could pick up, or that was greater than God, could he pick that rock up? It's a paradox. Again, it goes back to the chicken and the egg. What came first? The creator of the human. What came first? Did we create the concept of God as some type of us, trying to understand how the universe works? Or is there an actual creator? And if there is an actual creator, is there just one? Are they many? Like, does it go back to kind of what I believe with the whole God things? Now, keep in mind, I'm a spiritualist. I used to even say that I'm pagan, but through further me exploring and understanding what I believe in, I'm not even really pagan. I do believe that there are other multiples of a creator of some sorts, but I wouldn't say I worship them. I commune with them. So, but like, completely lost my train of thought right there. Oh yeah, but do we have creators? Like, is there something that created us that's from a different wavelength, a different, dimension, a different reality? Like, but think about that. That means that in some way, shape, or form, we have always been around. And it's really fucking funny now that I think about this, because there's a Disney movie that almost, with the whole, like, past life, real life thing, it was kind of like that. And it was like your past life, you were an actual alien. Ah, they do. Something like that. Anyways. No, wait. I'm thinking of a random movie. It's a weird movie. Anyways. Sorry. I'll probably edit that out. But anyways. That one thing. Time cannot stop. So therefore, if time doesn't stop, if time can never stop, and at some point in some time, we will, the universe will come to, our world will come to a point where, like, it's reached that peak and there's a mass extinction or, something like that. So, this comes in with, we just change. The Big Bang could have, what if it was the destruction of the old that used to be here, and through that it created this new. So many thoughts, and I could continue, but I'm almost at 20 minutes, and a lot of that's gotta get edited out. But, yeah, that's my rant.